Welcome, one and all.
Check out this week's live stream.
Welcome to the show.
Hello, I'm Jimmy, and welcome to my house.
Ballcap Nation. Assemble.
Let's go. Let's go indeed. Welcome everybody into a Tuesday night ball cap nightcap. Welcome in everybody. Quick note to anybody who's catching the replay of this, there will be timestamps. There's a lot tonight. You check out that lineup. There is a lot. So make sure if you're checking this out on Wednesday or Thursday or just you're catching the replay, make sure we'll have timestamps in the description so you can navigate around because there's a lot to get to. Welcome, everybody. I hope you all are having a fantastic Tuesday night. And I want to do a quick shout out. We have something new here with the channel, memberships. Anybody that is interested, that is on the homepage. We have 2 members. Anytime we have some members, we're going to give them shout outs. Kyle, thank you for the membership, my friend. And here, I don't know if you're here. But we have a couple of members that have kicked it off. I don't know if a lot of folks, know about the membership yet. It's impossible to find it on your phone, so you kind of need to use a PC. So we've got 2 levels. Anybody that's doing the $2 level, you get the custom emojis and you get badges. And if you go to the $4.99 level, which is the next level up, you get all that. Plus, you get some videos that will be exclusive to members, minimum 2 per month. So I'm hoping those emojis are working, Kyle. I see you've got them. Let me know if there's any issue. We're gonna have to watch see if there's any issues with the emojis as we go, because again, we're just kicking that off. That is brand new. How do you get the membership? Again, if you go to you kind of got to log on to a computer. I think I haven't seen how you can do it over phone. So you have to go to the main channel on the homepage on a computer or laptop, whatever it is that you're using, and you'll find it. You'll find it there. There's a little join button. It doesn't automatically log you in. If you do that, it will play a video for me introducing it and running it through and everything. So good. Seems to be working fantastic. Unfortunately, they're not working. I use StreamYard when I do the streams. And it's not, the emojis and everything are not showing up for me to see, which is kind of a bummer. Is what it is. Maybe I'll have to pull this up. I can pull up on YouTube, and maybe I'll do that. We'll open this up on YouTube so I can see some of that. So let's do that just so we got that over there. Okay. Anyway, so we're cranking here. What else we got going on? Just some other notes here. Again, thanks to everybody who to the members at the beginning. And again, if you have some interest, that's awesome. Wardy, NYM, Tyler, welcome in to the stream. My friend, your Mets Nation is here as well. It is absolutely crazy. This has been the off season for the Mets. All right. Just I feel like you can't go any period of time without something happening. Let's see. We have, wait a minute. What? Kyle, thank you for the tweet. We do have some news here that we can, I guess that we can break. This is nothing big, but we do have some breaking news as it pertains to the Blue Jays. The Blue Jays have agreed to terms with Francisco Liriano. So we got that going on. Phil, welcome. Welcome to the membership. Welcome to the Ballcap Nation membership. Thank you for that, my friend. Wow, we have some breaking news here. Liriano, that's interesting. We've seen him before, right? We all remember Francisco Liriano. Added arm, more depth. So we'll see. And hopefully he can do well. He's going to be a non-roster invitee to training camp. So he's basically just getting a shot, which he deserves. Give him a shot. Give him a shot. Everybody that is here, roll call. Who are you a fan of? What's your team? Roll call. Shout it out. We have some Braves fans in here. We have some Mets fans in here. We have some Jays fans. I know that. So roll call. Where are you from? What's your team? Whose banner do you fly? Whose ball cap do you wear? We have a lot today. We really do. I want to actually dive into maybe the latest and biggest piece of news that came out a few hours ago, and that was Chris Archer going back to the Tampa Rays, which I think this is a fantastic deal. This is a good deal for him. This is a good deal for the Rays, for him to go back to his original stomping ground, right? Going back to Tampa, maybe he can find himself again because he lost himself, if you will, with Pittsburgh. It didn't work. It's a 1-year deal, $6.5 million, right around where I thought he would land with that 1 year, $6.5 million. Makes sense. I feel like it's a win-win for both sides. Good here for the Rays. Good for Archer. I was hoping Toronto would get in the mix for Chris Archer. I feel like, again, if you give him a situation where he's trying to just prove himself still, you'll get a good version of Chris Archer. You'll get something that, he's out there to prove himself, try to get another contract. I wish that the Jays could have been in on this. Now, if Chris Archer bombs, that's good for the Blue Jays because he'll be bombing in the American League East and then go get him. Now, it might feel like he's older than he really is, but he's going to be entering his age 32 season. Didn't play last year. So the last we saw him was 2019 when he was 30. It was bad. But I feel like in Tampa something good can happen. Yes, we do have Liriano to the Blue Jays. That news did just break while we're on the stream here. So we're kind of, it's basically an invitation to spring training for Francisco Liriano. That's what's going on there. But this Archer deal, again, I like it. I'm a fan of it. I think it is a good thing. They needed, right? They needed the rotation help. They've got, Glass now, and then you're going to kind of piece it together probably from there. Yarbrough, Archer, Waka, McKay, Patino, Honeywell, however it falls. I don't know if the Rays are going to have to use an opener ever again, the way this team sort of shakes out right now. But with Glasnow, Yarbrough, Archer, Waka, and then the 5 spot, they can put together the rotation how they need to. They've got a lot of depth now, and you get Archer trying to prove himself. Here's his projection. Projection doesn't look that great. Doesn't really jump off the screen here. 4 wins. I mean, that's brutal. But they were only forecasting 100 innings pitched, which is kind of light. You would like to see him get up to 200 innings. So they're forecasting about half a season worth of Chris Archer. That ERA and WHIP though is kind of concerning. The K rate's nice. And ultimately, I think Chris Archer outdoes these numbers based on a prove it or lose it situation in Tampa. So a nice move there by the Rays to bring Chris Archer back into the fold and give him a chance to try to, bring himself together. Wardy tomorrow on how to set up memberships. Yeah, man, I got you. I'll help you. I actually saw the first time I saw a member was Hum Baby Baseball. Hum Baby Baseball. I saw his memberships. So, we that was pretty cool. He sort of showed me how to get that set up. It's kind of fun. It's fun because it's a new way for you guys to interact when we do these streams, to have badges, to show how long you have been a member, to have the emojis. Every time we get new members, I think it's every time we get 2 new members, we unlock another emoji, and I'm basically creating them all myself. I know, again, Kyle and here if he pops in, and we also had Phil join as well, right? I think that's what. Yes, Phil joined too. So they have the emojis, they have the badges right now, and anybody else that signs up, I made it real cheap. If you just want the badges and the emojis, made it real cheap. If you want to go deeper and you want to get that those exclusive member only videos, then it's a little bit more. It's it's $5 a month, but $2 a month if you just want that. Again, it's hard to find it on the phone. You kind of need to find a laptop or a computer. Anyway, I'm not here to pimp memberships. Definitely not. That's probably all I'll say about that unless somebody asks. So anyway, Archer to the Rays. That's a big piece of news that broke maybe 2 hours ago now. Kind of losing track of time. I know it's after 10. That's about all I know. So Archer goes back to the Rays. Again, nice move. Like that for them. Now, let's talk about Trevor Bauer because I know that's what a lot of you want to hear. When we did the poll this morning, we asked, what do you want to talk about? And it was Trevor Bauer. What's going on with Trevor Bauer? And, this situation, the longer it drags out to me, you guys comment in the chat. This starts to make me nervous for the Mets that it's going to happen for the Mets. Because what's the holdup here? Who else is seriously involved in the Trevor Bauer sweepstakes? Who seriously? Papa's here. Welcome in, my friend. Who's involved in the Trevor Bauer sweepstakes at this point? The Blue Jays are out. We think the Angels are out, but we'll talk about that in a second because maybe they're back in, magically. Unfortunately, but maybe fortunately, the Angels are maybe back in. This is kind of crazy. I don't think the Blue Jays are in position to spend the money. The Angels don't seem to be in the position because of the pitching coach situation, but that's changing. The Dodgers are only in on it if it's a year or two. I don't know if he wants to just do a year or two. So it's just the Mets, right? What's the holdup? What's taking so long? At this point, because it's still going, that is making me nervous. There's been a lot of Mets drama. Maybe the Mets are putting it off because they're like, you know what? We've got too much going on. Steve's taking a lot of heat in the public. Maybe let's just put it off. And listen, whenever this happens, whenever Trevor Bauer makes his decision, there's going to be a YouTube special for that, right? Like he's going to announce that over his channel. That's not going to be something where Jeff Passan or John Heyman just kind of drop it on Twitter out of nowhere. Trevor Bauer is going to control that information, and he will most certainly be dropping it on his YouTube page. Probably sort of like LeBron did with The Decision. I have a feeling we'll see that on Trevor Bauer's YouTube page whenever he makes the call. So that is going to be, Papa, I did see Kirk get left off the top 100. I'm not surprised. The majority of the baseball world is still sleeping on Alejandro Kirk, and we like that. That's okay. So this whole Trevor Bauer thing is fascinating. And again, back to the Angels, the whole reason the Angels were out was because of this Mickey Calloway situation, right? That Mickey Calloway was a pitching coach and they don't get along and all that. But now Mickey Calloway, dude, better lose his job. Okay, that's got to happen, right? Like it's got to happen. We're not going to go into a whole big thing about that, but it's got to happen. So if he's out, which he should be, can the Angels get back in? Is it too late? Tyler saying Angels are still out. You're probably right. But this just feels like a big movie saga, big theatrical thing. And just to add to it, I wouldn't be surprised if we hear after Mickey Calloway gets canned that the Angels are back in it. If this Bauer thing drags on for another week or two, I wouldn't be surprised if somebody leaks out that the Angels are back in it. Trevor Bauer probably wants the Angels to be back in it. I still maintain that that whole Nightingale tweet from last week when he said that it was an all-time record AAV for Trevor Bauer for a pitcher, and then it was backed up 10 minutes later. It was not backed up, but walked back by some of his colleagues 10 minutes later, was some kind of leak job by somebody in the Trevor Bauer camp, trying to get either other teams in the mix so that they knew what the dollar amount was, or to get some teams to up their offers, like trying to get the Blue Jays to get that offer up because it was just down to the Mets. Otherwise, I don't see a reason for that tweet at all. So Bauer probably wants the Angels to get back in it. Bauer, his camp may leak out that the Angels are back in it, and it could be completely false. But the more teams that are in it for him, the better it is for him. If more teams are in on it, it's better for him if the Mets and the Angels and the Blue Jays are all trying to get him because he can get more money. So this Trevor Bauer situation is fascinating, and it really is all quiet. We hear Walker Buehler hopes that Trevor Bauer comes to LA. That's all fine and good. I don't know if he's going to like it if Walker Buehler has to be skipped a day because it's day 4 and Trevor's ready to go again. That's a whole nother thing. I don't know how the Dodgers work with Trevor Bauer's plans at partnership. I really think it's the Mets in the driver's seat, but why is it taking so long? Why do they not have a deal done? Why has Trevor Bauer not gone on his YouTube channel other than he's trying to drag it out and get something done? Tyler's got Bauer will have a decision in the next 48 hours. Book it. I hope so, man. I hope so. I want to come on here and talk about Bauer to the Mets and how it impacts the team and improves the rotation and makes them a World Series favorite rather than just speculating over what could happen. Because, it's for some Blue Jay fans, it's torture because they're hoping it works out. It's for anybody that's been hoping again. For Dodgers fans, might be torture hoping it works out. But I got to think, and again, Mets fans, it's like, come on, let's get this done. You're killing me here. So the Trevor Bauer situation, the Bauer watch, that is on. Tyler is on it. Wardy NYM. Tyler is on the Trevor Bauer watch. I'm on the Trevor. We're all on Trevor Bauer watch. And again, as always, this is just something I kind of put out there. If you see something, say something on Twitter. Tweet at me, at Jim Riley Live. If you see something going on, on Twitter with one of the people that you follow, doesn't have to be Bauer. It could be anybody. Tweet at me and let me know that something's going on. Don't just say it in the chat because people can spam in the chat. People can make something up. But you guys are the lookouts. If something's going on, I need you to tweet at me. Again, at Jim Riley Live for anything that breaks, like Kyle did with Francisco Liriano. So we get that done, and we'll see what happens. The next thing I want to talk about, and it's probably the last we'll talk about it because the news cycle on this is sort of winding down, and that is Nolan Arenado, this whole Cardinals situation. I feel bad for Rockies fans here. This was their guy, right? This is their reason to go to a game or turn a game on or buy a jersey, and he's gone. And now you're counting on Trevor Story, but you're probably feeling hesitant about that because Story's a free agent next year, and Story may move on. So the Trevor Story, Nolan Arenado, Charlie Blackmon. I guess we're going to load up on Chuck Nasty T-shirts and Blackmon jerseys because it's really kind of down to that. And they're doing the right thing because in that West, look, they're not going to compete with the Padres or the Dodgers, and they're not even going to compete with the Giants. The Diamondbacks have pieces to be tough. So the Rockies were looking at a last place finish even with Arenado. So make the trade. And the problem is so much money was owed to him, you couldn't get much back. Now, I feel like they did the best they could. Ultimately, the package of players, you would have maybe liked a top 5 prospect, but they did get a top 10 prospect in Montero. So that was good, but it's tough for this to happen. The Cardinals now, though, certainly the favorite in that National League Central. Cardinals fans, you got to be ecstatic because it's also a team he wanted to go to. That makes you feel good about that opt-out, right? If he wanted to be there and the Cardinals are going to be competing for the Central and then making runs in the playoffs, sure, you want to be there. You're not going to opt out of that. So a great opportunity for Arenado. He's going to probably stay. That would be my bet. I also don't think he's at the point in his career where opting out would be the right decision. He's not going to go and get $35 million a year from anybody else at the end of 2021 or at the end of 2022 when that other opt-out is. It's just not going to happen. He's not going to get that. No shot. His exit velocity is down. His splits away from course field are down. So we just know naturally his numbers are going to come down a little bit. There's absolutely no chance that Nolan Arenado is going to be in position to get that $35 million a year because that $35 million a year is for a guy who's hitting 40 bombs. That's not what he's going to do. Nolan Arenado is not going to show up and hit 40 bombs. Here's his projection from the baseball forecaster. We looked at this when the trade was going down. This is a nice season. 33 homers, 104 RBI. That slash line, that's great. That's not $35 million a year. It's just not. That is $25 million a year, right? Maybe 26, $27 million a year. It's not $35 million. He will not opt out. This is a good projection. Cardinals fans, if you get this, you will take this, because this, on top of how good of a defender he is, yes, all day long, you will take that. I got to think that he's going to hang in there. He will be a Cardinal for a long time and could have a chance at winning a World Series for the first time in his career. And also, this is a move for his Hall of Fame candidacy. Todd Helton is having a terrible time trying to make the Hall of Fame. Larry Walker took him to his final year, and he just barely eked in. If Nolan Arenado has the aspirations to be a Hall of Famer, he kind of needed to get out of Colorado to have a chance, because he could keep putting these numbers up, but everybody would discount it. So now he gets to go to St. Louis and put it up outside of Coors, do it outside, and try to get something done. So the Arenado situation is good. Now there's still, even with all the free agent signings we've had lately, there is a lot still out there. Want to touch on that next, kind of just dive through all of these, free agents that are still out there, or a handful of the free agents that are still out there. And this first one is for my Blue Jay fans. It's Trevor Rosenthal. That is the first free agent that we're going to talk about. Latest news, it's been a couple days now, but Robert Murray from Fansided was out there saying that the Blue Jays were among the teams in the mix for Trevor Rosenthal. I'd love it. I think that if Kirby Yates isn't on the kind of deal where it prevents you from adding more depth to the end of the bullpen, the back of the bullpen. So I would love the move. You can put those two in there. The 8-9 done with Rosenthal and with Yates. Rosenthal as well. Anybody that might be worried about Rosenthal, thinking, well, he was really bad, and I don't know if I trust what happened in 2020. Because again, remember, I'm like this with everybody from 2020. I'm taking everything, whether they struggled or were great, with a grain of salt. Rosenthal, though, his metrics looked good. His control came back. That's how you saw the better season. His walk percentage went down and his strike percentage went up. So Trevor Rosenthal found his control. So I got to think that we're going to be good with Trevor Rosenthal if he can come to Toronto. There are still a handful of teams that are in him, but the Jays are really who we're looking for. So we got to watch. We got to watch that. Trevor Rosenthal to the Blue Jays would be a nice piece. So let's move on to the next player that we're going to talk about here, and that is Nelson Cruz and the Twins. The word is that there is an offer on the table for Nelson Cruz. Spotrac has him projected at $25 million, which is insane. The Twins haven't paid him that much so far. They paid him, I think, $12 million and $14 million. So I got to think that this Nelson Cruz deal is probably the most that the Twins have ever offered him, and he's got to take it. He can't go to the National League. No DH can even think about looking at a National League offer right now, which, again, that hurts Cruz's options, but that's the situation we're in. The Twins need him just like Cruz needs the Twins, just like the Twins need Cruz. The White Sox have put themselves in a position to win the Central. The Twins need to keep pace. The Indians are going to be tough. You have a Shane Bieber-led rotation. You still have J-Ram there. They bring Eddie Rosario back. Eddie Rosario is going to have a chip on his shoulder every time that they go up against the Twins. So the Twins have to do something to keep pace with the White Sox if the Twins want to get that wild card, because that could be what they're playing for, is the wild card. And they're going to have to compete indirectly with two of the three teams in the American League East, because the Blue Jays, the Yankees, and the Rays are all going to be pushing for three of those playoff spots. And if two of them go to the American League East teams, the Rays will be left out. So the Rays absolutely have to get this deal done. With Odorizzi being gone, the Twins need to make a pitching move as well. But you gave up on Rosario. Cruz isn't back yet. Twins have to get this deal done. The Twins absolutely have to get that deal done. J-Ram has not been traded. J-Ram is still with the Indians. So I think that Cruz has to get the deal done. Sean Miller, welcome in, my friend. Thank you. Glad you're here. All right, let's move on to the next one, and that is this man, Sean Doolittle, actually getting a deal done. Earlier today, we got the news that Doolittle signed with the Reds a 1-year contract, a cheap deal, $1.5 million. He's had some arm troubles lately. Any Nats fans that are hanging out here know exactly what I'm talking about. Doolittle was great in Oakland, showed up in Washington. It started out great, but then it really kind of fell apart, right? He had some shoulder injuries. He lost his closing job to Daniel Hudson when they won the World Series, and Hudson had just been acquired from the Jays. And, this whole situation with Doolittle, Washington really struggled. But going to Cincinnati, really a 1-year deal, $1.5 million isn't really a whole lot. It's a fine deal. Doolittle could end up closing in Cincinnati with Raisel Iglesias in Cincinnati. So Doolittle gets a deal, and we have one less reliever on the market. He probably, if you're looking at lefty relievers on the market, probably was still in the top 5, even with those issues. Next up, Edwin Encarnacion. Blue Jays fans that are here, I know you all feel me with this one. It would be great to see him come back and be in a Blue Jays jersey one more time. I don't think it's going to happen. But the word is out that Edwin Encarnacion wants to come back, wants to play again, wants to get to 500 home runs. He is at 423, I believe it is right now, which the problem with Edwin is he's really going to have to turn it on. I mean, you're going to have to get – he could have back-to-back 35 homer seasons. I was tweeting about this with Kyle, I think. He could have back-to-back 35 homer seasons, and he'd still be short. So he'd really have to turn it on. But Edwin, in a dream world, comes back to Toronto. I don't think it happens in a realistic scenario. Exactly. Rod, too many righties. They need another lefty bat, not a righty bat. So unfortunately, we won't see Edwin back with the Blue Jays. Where he kind of fits is interesting because wherever he goes, it's got to be an American League team, and it's got to be an American League team that needs a DH. Now, Edwin is one of those hoping that the National League gets a universal DH. The White Sox could use a DH, but they just had him. Did they bring him back? I don't know. The Orioles could use him. I could actually see Edwin wind up in Baltimore. Maybe the Twins, if the Twins can't get Cruz back, there could be a fit there. That's it. There's not a deep market for designated hitters in the American League. If he wants to get regular playing time, if he wants to platoon and come off the bench and maybe play 100 games, that's not what he's looking for. If he's trying to get to 500, he wants playing time every day. I don't know where he's going to get that. I hope he gets that. Again, Edwin, take a deal in Baltimore. We'll get to see 16 times a year, something like that. So we have we keep our eye on Edwin to see where he maybe ultimately winds up. Next up, Jake Odorizzi. Listen, guys, we're probably going to have to wait until Trevor Bauer signs to get a Jake Odorizzi deal. A lot of teams in on Jake Odorizzi. According to John Morosi yesterday, there's a lot of teams that are interested in him. Angels, Red Sox, Blue Jays, Giants, and Twins. Twins could really use to bring him back. Are all in on Jake Odorizzi. As a Jays fan, I have a feeling that Odorizzi would be a nice fit, right? I don't know what the situation is, but I'd love to see Odorizzi in a Jays lineup. But ultimately, I think Odorizzi, we're going to have to wait for this Mets situation to come to a close. Rod, yes, it would be great for them to snatch Odorizzi, but Bauer's got to sign, and then Odorizzi is going to try to set his price tag in some correlation to whatever Bauer gets. It is within Jake Odorizzi's best interest to wait for a Bauer deal to go down. So, we'll have to wait and see what happens with Odorizzi. But once Bauer's off the market, Odorizzi is one of the best arms that will be available on the free agent market. After Jake Odorizzi, we've got a couple more here. We got Ryan Braun. Very little interest in Ryan Braun this offseason. 37 years old, so he is getting towards the end of his career. The universal DH in the National League being a question mark, that is certainly hurting him. There has been little interest in him. He does not have a plan to retire. There is some talk that, Milwaukee has been casually talking to him, but they just declined his option. It was a $15 million option. That makes sense to decline. But Ryan Braun is somebody that, again, he's got the name, sort of all fell apart after that PED situation a few years ago. Where Ryan Braun lands will be interesting. If the National League gets the DH, I could see Ryan Braun coming back for a National League team, maybe even comes back for the Brewers. Brewers could use him, that's for sure. But Ryan Braun it's very interesting to see this guy in this situation. Next up, Justin Turner. So it kind of feels like it just keeps going back and forth with Justin Turner. It goes from, well, it's just the Dodgers to, oh no, there's 4 teams interested in him. The Braves have checked in. That's the most recent information from Heyman is that the Braves have checked in. The Blue Jays are interested. The Dodgers are interested. Then there's 2 mystery teams that are out there. So this Justin Turner thing is a wild ride, man. I'm kind of surprised about this. It came out that he wanted a 4-year deal, right? Who's going to give him a 4-year deal? That'll take him to age 40. I can't imagine that Justin Turner ends up signing a 4-year deal with anybody. It makes the most sense to me for him to go back to LA on a 1-year deal with an option for 2022, something along those lines. That kind of makes that kind of makes sense to me in terms of what Justin Turner can bring. 1 or 2 years, I think he probably does have at least one more good year in him, but it's going to start to decline eventually, and nobody wants to be saddled with 3 more years of Justin Turner if that decline starts to happen in 2021. So, the free agents, we're watching all of the free agents. Hope you guys have liked the last couple nights. I've done sort of more of like a hot stove update, a hot stove latest at night. I'm going to try to keep those going as we go along here when we don't have anything else going on, to just kind of give you guys an update of what's going on. So that's sort of the free agent update. The next thing I wanted to get into here, this owner and player situation, guys, is just, it's kind of maddening. Like, we're moving on the season. We're going to get a full season, but the whole back and forth, the whole negotiation point with the owners and with the players is really, it's unsettling to me for coming up next year when they have to negotiate the new collective bargaining agreement. That's one of the main reasons why nothing is happening with this deal, is that it's the CBA. It is, if I give anything up now or we do anything here, the whole CBA thing is going to hurt us. When they look back on, well, you did this then kind of situation. So I'm really not loving what's going on with this. Now, the players did come out with a statement, and it's, honestly, I think the knee-jerk reaction, the initial reaction is, why would you guys not take health in the best interest of what's going on here? I think the players don't want to get into a situation like last year. They agreed to something in March, and then they had to fight for that the whole way through until they finally got the 60-game season. The statement that they came out with essentially says that they don't take this decision lightly. Players know the firsthand efforts that were required to complete the season. They know what this is all about. They know that they have these safety protocols that they have to go to. One of the big concerns was that player salaries, that MLB's offered no salary or service time protections in the event of further delays, interruptions, or cancellations. So that's important here, right? Like, they could just keep pushing this thing down the road. Owners could keep coming back with something else to push it back and push it back once they get a deal. So the owners or the players are just in the mindset of, let's just go. Let's just get the season started. Let's go. I honestly think that is probably, maybe it's the best thing to do. I don't know. The owners look like the people who the side that's just looking out for everybody and wants everybody to stay healthy, and the players kind of look not so great here. But there's got to be a reason. Listen, I don't love Tony Clark as the head of the Players Association. I think he bungled it last year. I'm just hoping that they don't go down that road again. And honestly, the players, by rejecting and not even countering, proves to us that they're just going to go. We're just going to get the season started. So the other piece of big news that came out this week, maybe some more fun news, is MLB The Show. MLB The Show has their cover star, and it is Fernando Tatis Jr. A great decision. Maybe one of the best decisions that they've made for a cover athlete for MLB The Show. I don't know, if you play MLB The Show or not. It's it can be maddening at times.
It looks good.
All I do is line out in this game.
But either way, I mean, it's fun. But MLB The Show 21, anybody that's interested in that, there is some pretty big information. The cross platform play and generation play, which they had to do, right? Think about it. You've got these consoles that just came out. You can't really get a PlayStation 5 right now. You're having trouble getting, so they had to make it so it wasn't just PS5ers playing against PS5ers and PS4s, because you'd have limited competition, right? You wouldn't have a whole lot of people playing the game. So I think it's the right decision to do that. I wanted to talk about some of the wish list items. They got to fix franchise, right? They just have to do that. Call out of the park, call the baseball mogul guys, and just say, hey, how do you do it? How do you do franchise mode? Teach us, partner with them, do something, because it just isn't working out their franchise mode. It sounds like they are going to, try to tweak the franchise mode again. Hopefully they can fix it. They're talking about new pitching mechanics and an overhaul to fielding. If you play the game, does anybody care about fielding? I just want errors to be user generated and not error roulette, where maybe this time the game has an error planned and my second baseman doesn't pick up the ball. That can't happen. And pitching should be simple. If you have a perfect release, then the ball should go right where you want it to go. That's it. Why is that hard? That's been the biggest gripe, I think, for years. Every year there's a hitting issue. What was it? 2018 was a power bat or bust. If you used contact, it just did nothing. 2019, it was lineouts. 2020, to me, it feels like it's double plays. If you got a runner on first and the ball is anywhere low in the zone, you hit into a double play. I hate a perfect that goes foul. That should never happen. That's happened too many times. I'm okay with perfect lineouts and groundouts. I get it if you get little on top of the ball, or maybe it's with a hitter that's not a power hitter. But if I center a ball up and hit it in the air, if it's a fly ball and it's perfect, that thing should be gone. So fix that. I'd actually like to see, this might be crazy. I don't know how they could do it, but I'd like to see a way for them to figure out trades. Like, that's a big part of baseball. Can they add trades with users in the game? Now, I understand that there could be some abuse to that. So there's going to have to be some kind of algorithm or judge system to, make sure that it's a fair trade. Otherwise, again, there'd be some massive abuse of that. But some way to try to make trades happen, where if you're giving up X number of golds for a diamond, or, diamonds with certain value for a diamond of another value, I feel like they could do something with that. Trades would be pretty cool. Now, the game, I think, comes out, April 20th? Isn't that a month later than usual? They have that custom league figured out already. So maybe they can make that work, Chris. Yeah. So this year, actually, I didn't bother with any custom leagues. Maybe I'll have to do that in 2021. I know that was a good new feature that I think a lot of people enjoyed. I didn't mess with it at all. So, that's MLB The Show is doing good work. The content has been absolutely insane. The gameplay in some areas could be improved, but I feel like that's always going to be the case. I feel like that will always be the situation. The cover is amazing. Tatis, the color scheme, the whole thing. They did a fantastic job with the cover. Steel Badger likes Lindor on the cover for 2022. So yeah, I mean, this is the cover, the whole, we've been waiting for a long time to get some information on this. So we finally got it. Now, I do want to let you guys know about a giveaway that I'm doing on my YouTube. It's only on my Twitter. It's only on Twitter. Now, I'm giving away 2 copies of the game. 1 copy to you and 1 copy to one of your friends. This tweet describes it. My Twitter handle is on the top. If you want to get in on this giveaway, what you have to do is you have to go onto Twitter, find me over there at Jim Riley Live. Like the tweet, make sure you follow me, and then retweet it and tag the friend that you want the second copy to go to. So not just you are going to win it, but your friend can win it too. So if you go to, again, Twitter at Jim Riley Live, follow me, like the tweet, retweet it, and tag your friend, I'm going to give away 2 copies, 1 to you, 1 to the friend that you tag. Simple. You can pick the PlayStation, you can pick the Xbox, whichever one you want, you can get it. So if you find me over there, you can get into that giveaway. Just wanted to let everybody know about that as well, because go out and win a game. It's free.
It looks good.
All I do is line out in this game.
All right, sorry, I wanted to play that one more time because anybody that's played the show knows that feeling. So we have the show 21, and that's some exciting stuff. The other, I touched on it briefly earlier. This Angels situation. We woke up this morning thinking that Calloway was going to be gone. This was the statement from the Angels, basically saying they're doing a suspension. I'm honest with you. I was shocked that it was only a suspension based on the story. I feel like he should be out. I feel like this will just be a gigantic distraction, and there really shouldn't be any discussion here. It's time to go. It's time for him to go. I'm surprised that it hasn't. I'm surprised that he's still there, that they're even going down the road of an investigation. The Mets made the right move when they kicked the GM out right away. I think the Angels should have done the same thing here, kick the pitching coach out right away. You can replace a pitching coach. It's hard to replace a GM. You can replace a pitching coach. I'm just shocked. I know the investigation. It's got. I'm thinking it's got to be a quick one. It's got to be a quick one because, again, the distraction that this will cause in 2 weeks, spring training starts, and if he's there, or even if he's not there, if he's still suspended, there's going to be questions. There's something. It's just easiest to just move on, right? And then maybe Calloway sues and everything and all that, but it's just I'm surprised. I am surprised. Why was Mickey Calloway suspended? He had some lewd behavior. That's it. I'm not going to go into a whole great detail. I think pretty much everybody knows about it right now, but it's got to be it. It's got to be it. So, that situation really surprises me that sort of went the way it went this morning when we got the news about that. So, but we move on from that. I did want to talk about that because I am sort of surprised. I see in the chat some folks going, got to do the investigation. Some folks saying they got to get him out. I understand, but I think we know where this is going, and let's just get to the finish line. So anyway, we are going to get into. We have a few other topics for the extra innings part. I do just want to remind anybody, if you're just finding the channel for the first time, make sure you subscribe. If you're enjoying the baseball talk, we've been going for about 45 minutes. We've got a few topics for our extra inning portion. We're going to get into the Blue Jays. We're going to get into the Marlins. We're going to get into a few other topics. And, I hope you hang out for that. But if you are just finding us, make sure that you subscribe. And if you're just chilling, hanging out, make sure you like the video. Let's get this video to and past 100 likes before we're done. So make sure that you like, take a poke at the like and subscribe if you are, again, just finding. And if you are subscribing for the first time, please let me know in the chat so that I can thank you. I would love for you to sort of join Ballcap Nation and in this community that we're trying to grow here. We've gone through that lineup. It took 47 minutes, guys. And again, like I said, I've got some other stuff here that we're going to dig into. So I hope you guys are enjoying your Tuesday nights. Let's dig into, again, when I do the polls, let's do the polls first. So I do the poll every Tuesday morning where I let you guys know that we're going live and that we are going to be, what we're going to be talking about. I ask you what you want to talk about. And I did get, I got a couple requests talking about Blue Jays, talk about what's next, all that. We're going to get into that in just a moment. Let's just run through the polls real quick because you guys are engaging in the polls, voting in the polls. Let's talk about some of the results. So a couple days ago, after Jock Peterson went to Chicago, we had an over-under poll, 28 homers in Chicago. 55% of you went under, which is interesting. 45 went over. I actually thought it would have gone the other way, but you guys saying under. How many games do the Cardinals win the Central by? This was after the Arenado deal. Under 10 games, 57%. Very surprising. Over 10 games at 43%. Honestly, guys, I think it's going to be over. I think it is going to be over that 10-game mark, but it's all good. Again, we put the poll up there. I want to know what you guys think. Next poll situation. Mickey Calloway. Are the Angels back in with Mickey Calloway out? Most of you think no. 53% think no. Alex Cobb to the Angels. Jones to the Orioles. Who won the deal? A lot of you think the Orioles won that deal. I agree. I am with you on the Orioles winning that deal. Tatis gets the cover of the show. You guys think it's fire. I agree with you. Trevor Bauer signing this week. 57% of you think, yes, Trevor Bauer will sign this week. And the last sort of poll recap we did an over-under on Arenado's home runs in St. Louis. The number was at 33 on the Baseball Forecaster. 54% of you going under. And would you want Trevor Bauer on your team? 1,000 votes, 76% of you saying yes. So quick recap on the polls. And again, in the poll, folks wanted to talk about certain topics. We had a couple options, and one of the options was to talk about the Marlins. So we will talk about the Marlins for a minute. It is not going to be a, gangbuster season for the Marlins. They are probably going to come in last in the National League East. However, they have a lot to be excited about. They have a good young team, and to have two top 20 prospects, Sixto Sanchez was very nice starting out last year. JJ Bleday, Max Meyer, their top prospect or their top draft pick from the 2020 season, Jazz Chisholm, Edward Cabrera. They have some nice pieces. The Marlins, again, they're a couple years away, but the Marlins are going to be tough and they're going to be fun. They're going to be a good watch. It's not going to be like in years past when the Marlins are out there and it's just depressing, a bad watch. You can't watch it. That's not going to be the situation. It is going to be fun to watch the Marlins in 2021 and moving forward because we got Sixto. He will certainly be there at the start of the year. JJ could make his debut later in the 2021 season or would certainly be there in 2022. Max, going to be a few years away. He was just drafted. You'll see Jazz this year. You can see Cabrera later this year. So these prospects are coming. This team is, again, probably still going to finish last, but they are going to be, of all of the last place teams in baseball, and this isn't saying much, they're going to be the most fun team, the toughest team that finishes last. Marlins in the National League Central would be a fighter, right? In the American League Central, they would fight, but they're not in those divisions. But they are going to be a fun team. Put the fish on the grill. So we talk about Marlins for a few minutes. Again, we had a vote on that in the poll, so we talk about the Marlins for a minute. Next up, again, from the poll, we had a request to talk about the Blue Jays and what's next. Talking about the Jays now for a few minutes, which I can do for hours, but we're going to try to keep it to a reasonable amount of time. What is next for the Blue Jays? That is really the big question. And apparently it was Francisco Liriano, which, that news was breaking as we came on. Francisco Liriano was kind of what's next, but really what's next? Francisco Liriano is a invitee to spring training, non-roster invitee to spring training. Is it Rosenthal? Is it adding to that bullpen? Is it the starter? Is it Odorizzi? Are they able to work out something for Bauer? Is it a lefty bat, which I really think they need? Is it a trade? Do they pick up the phone, call the Reds, and get Sonny Gray? Is it a Randall Grichuk trade? When they signed Simeon and not Brantley, that kept the lineup in a position where you could keep all four of those outfielders. It just sacrifices Rowdy Tellez. So what is next? You guys that are in the chat, Jays fans, what do you think? We're seeing some Rosenthal. I mean, that is probably that's what they've been linked to most recently. I mean, I think that is for sure. But a lefty bat would be nice. Somehow I'd like all three of these at the top to happen. Get that Rosenthal deal in, get a starter, and go get a lefty bat. Can those be the three things that we check off here between now and spring training? Grichuk could hang out. The way that this situation is, Grichuk could hang out, and maybe a trade takes care of that starter and lefty bat situation. Again, Grichuk can hang. Look at the lineup. We talked about this when Simeon signed. Randall Grichuk bats 8th with this team. If you don't like Randall Grichuk, okay, I get it. But he bats 8th. If you're banging on Randall Grichuk, you're banging on the number 8 hitter in the lineup. The lineup is long. I think that this is something that it's fluid. Obviously could change, but this is kind of the direction I feel that it's going. So I like this. And again, that Simeon deal made it so they could keep all 4 outfielders. This is a team that's going to make a run. They have to address the pitching. Ultimately, when we're talking about what's next for the Toronto Blue Jays, it, to me, should be a starter. I think that is the very first thing they should do next is a starter. If they are able to come into that lefty bat easily, but where their focus should be, in my opinion, the focus needs to be on a starter. Get that starter, get that done. If you could just make it work with Rosenthal, get that done. But let's get a starter. Adding Rosenthal just adds more beef to that bullpen, which we will want throughout the season. And when we get to the playoffs, we will want more options, and that's what happens. We got Rod with Odorizzi and Baraja. I like that. What about getting Josh Hader? I don't think that's going to happen because the Hader price tag is too high. They want prospects and major league talent. So I don't see the Blue Jays making a deal for Josh Hader. Getting Hader would set Hader up as the closer for that team for the next few years, right? He's still young. He's got a couple years of control. So it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world, but I just don't see that happening. I don't see that haul for a reliever unless you're sending a bunch of pitching to Milwaukee, which they need, right? Maybe they would do that deal. I just wouldn't do it. There was word that Tanner Roark was in the mix. I think Tanner Roark would set any negotiations with the Brewers back if the Blue Jays tried to throw Roark into that situation. But it would be nice if they could get out from underneath that Tanner Roark deal. Corbin, thank you for the super chat, my friend. I appreciate that. Paxton as a lefty seems redundant. Walker on short term or Odorizzi 2-3. I like it. I know what you're saying. I get exactly what you're saying. We've already got Ray. We've already got Ryu. If you throw in Paxton, that's 3 lefties and 2 righties in the rotation. I understand that. If I'm putting together a rotation, I probably would rather have 3 righties and 2 lefties. I get that. If they can get Paxton for not a lot, and then I'll deal with it. Paxton's probably going to be a 1 or 2 year deal at most, but I see exactly what you're saying there. And sure, yes, I would rather have Odorizzi over Paxton, and Walker was great. I think Walker comes back to Toronto, and I think Walker would have a great season. Walker kind of fits into that Trevor Bauer conversation where, why is it taking so long? Why is that not done? What's happening? There's just some of these deals that I'm just surprised that it's taking so long. Hayden Miller, best catcher in baseball. I'll say JT Realmuto. Papa, I think they're kind of going to raise Root, just filling the pen with gunners. Wouldn't be a bad idea. It has worked for the Rays for years. Wouldn't be a bad idea. Owen, do I think Archer will have a bounce back year? I do. I think you put him back in Tampa. You get him out of that Pittsburgh situation. That Pittsburgh situation just isn't working for anybody. You kind of go to Pittsburgh and you have a setback, or your career doesn't get started the right way. Get him out of there. Cole took off when he went to Houston. They used him differently, right? I think we'll see Tyone take off in New York, and Musgrove will probably pitch better in San Diego. Archer will probably pitch better in Tampa. So I like that decision. Could I see Bauer in a Blue Jays uniform? I mean, I can see it. Do I think it's going to happen? Probably not. Probably not. It's just too much money. Now, if they can get Bauer on a 1 year deal, sure. But he's not going to sign a 1 year deal. No way he's going to sign a 1 year deal. He's got too much to lose, right? If he goes back to that guy that's an ERA of 4, he's coming off a Cy Young. This is the time to sign a multi-year deal, a long-term deal. That whole talk about I'm going to sign just do 1 year deals, that was before he was the best pitcher in the National League for a 60-game season, and he had all the leverage. He's going to sign a multi-year deal. Let's see. Mile High Sports, welcome in, my friend. Let's see. John likes Buster Posey. I mean, Buster Posey, at one point was, but I don't think so at this point. Vasquez is good too. So yes. So we're talking about what's next. The other item that folks wanted to talk about, and it sort of ties back into the whole Trevor Bauer situation. Again, that's one of the things we're talking about here is, why is this taking so long with Trevor Bauer? What is the holdup? Why is the deal not done? Tyler Wardy NYM was on here earlier predicting something in the next 48 hours from Trevor Bauer. What's the holdup? That is ultimately my question. This trade that we saw go down yesterday. Now, I know it's not a big name. It wasn't a big contract. It's wasn't a big deal. This Jordan Yamamoto trade really interests me. Really perplexing. Really, in a sense that I still think Trevor Bauer's the front runner for the Mets. But if he doesn't end up with the Mets, we're going to look back on that deal, and we are going to point at it as that was the first clue that we knew that something was up with Bauer and the Mets. That Jordan Yamamoto deal, because that deal doesn't really need to happen. The guy has potential to be a starter. He's still young. I'm throwing out that 2020 season. I'm looking at that 2019 season. I feel like there is something there with Jordan Yamamoto. Even before Jordan, the Mets have 5 starters already. So I don't understand why they do this deal. If you add Trevor Bauer in, Jordan goes to the bullpen. And, maybe in shorter bursts, he can be more effective. That's fine. But I feel like, again, this might be the first indication. If we are trying to, look back, we're like, man, I can't believe Bauer signed with the Giants, right? We're going to look back on this trade as the first clue that a deal wasn't going to happen. That's what we're asking. That is my question right now is, what's the holdup? What is taking so long? I think that It's down to the Mets. It is the Mets and only the Mets. I don't see the Blue Jays involved. I don't see him signing a 1 or 2 year deal with the Dodgers. I don't see any mystery teams that are going to make a serious run at him. The Giants are not going to go the Giants could use him, but they're not going to make a run for him and go jeopardize their payroll and jeopardize their future. The Padres are not going to do this. They've sunk enough money into this. The Dodgers, again, he's not going to sign a 1 or 2 year deal. It's really just down to the Mets. It's the Mets and it's only the Mets. I don't understand why it's taking so long. Any Mets fans that are in here, holler out in the chat. Are you concerned? Are you concerned that this whole Bauer situation is dragging out this long and is taking so long? And make sure to hit the like, guys. If you are hanging out in the chat, just chilling, listening to me talk, if you like the baseball talk, make sure you take a poke at that like and help me out, because that helps me. That helps this video, and I truly appreciate that. So we're talking Bauer right now. We're talking what's the holdup, because that Yamamoto deal yesterday just gives me a little bit of a pause. I don't think, obviously, that would prevent a Bauer deal from happening. I think the Mets are still the front runner. But if something happens, if this doesn't work, if he ends up signing with some mystery team, or we start to hear mystery team, I'm concerned. I would be concerned. If I'm a Mets fan, if this deal doesn't get done by the end of the week, I'm worried. Again, any Mets fans that are in this chat, let me know. Are you worried too? What is going on? Hayden, thank you for that tweet. The Twins and Ozuna are talking. If they can't work out a deal with Cruz, here's the thing about Ozuna and Cruz. You could get Ozuna for multiple years, and you probably prefer that over a 1 year situation with Cruz. Again, anybody that's hanging out in here, I'm reading the tweet. I've got Twitter up. Thank you, Hayden. Follow me at Jim Riley Live. If you see something, tweet it at me, and I'll react to it. I'll read to it. As a Mets fan, I think Bauer is asking for too much money. I agree with you. ERA's been thank you, 100%. Bauer is asking for too much money. Trying to get a record average annual value is insane for a guy who has only pitched, well, let's call it a season and a half. He had a nice season back in 2019, I think it was. No, not 2019. I think it was 2018. I'm just pulling up his stats right now. 2018, a 2.21 ERA was sick. Bauer was great. And then 2019 happened. And then 2020. Wow, Bauer's great again. But it was only 11 starts. And he didn't really play anybody. It's just, it gives you cause for concern. And it's why I think there aren't as many teams in on him. What he's done over his career, as opposed to just this past season, is a little bit of a concern. He's at his best negotiating point right now. He'll never have a better negotiating point coming off the Cy Young. This is the time for him to lock in a long-term deal. If he doesn't, it's going to be, silly town. He's got to do it. Let's talk about his game log. This is who he faced in 2020, guys. And I'm not just trying to pour cold water on the whole Trevor Bauer situation, but here's who he faced. Detroit, Milwaukee, Kansas City, Milwaukee. Okay, there's 5 starts against teams that didn't have a winning record. I'll keep going. The Cubs. Okay, Cubs had a winning record. The Pirates. We're back to losing records. The Cubs again. Okay. Then the Pirates again. So then the White Sox, then the Brewers. So he faced the Cubs twice and the White Sox. Those were the only teams he faced in 2020 that had a winning record. That is my concern. And I guarantee you these franchises, they know that. They're looking at that. They see this. They know that's what's going on. So, yes, Trevor Bauer, you had a great season. You got the Cy Young. You were amazing. You had an ERA under 2. But we don't like who you played, and you're asking for too much money. Based on your career, it's just too much money. It's really, do you think I'm wrong here? Who else is at the table right now negotiating for Trevor Bauer? Who? It's the Mets. The Mets and only the Mets. And their offer is not going to go up. That's why I think this is taking so long. I think the Mets have a very fair offer to Trevor Bauer. It's not what he wants. He wants it to come up, but it just isn't happening because the Mets are not negotiating against anybody at this point. They'd be negotiating against themselves if they up their offer. If they up their offer, they're going up against themselves. Trevor Bauer may drag this out until spring training. Who knows? You know, you see this Angel situation. Do the Angels hop back in if they fire Mickey Calloway and there is no longer that problem with that relationship? I don't know. If Trevor Bauer changes his mind, he's like, okay, I'll do a 1-year deal. I'll do a 2-year deal. Do the Blue Jays get back in? Do the Dodgers become a slam dunk? If that's what's happening, it's very fascinating, this whole Trevor Bauer situation. I don't understand why it's taking so long. I feel like he should have a deal right now. Bauer isn't confident in himself. He won't listen. I don't think he would accept a 1-year deal because he knows. He knows. He's not going to have another Cy Young season in 2021, so he won't be able to ask for this same type of money. So the Trevor Bauer situation is fascinating. Again, anybody that's just in here for the first time, make sure you subscribe, join the channel, join the Ballcap Nation that we're building, the community that we're building. Come along for the ride and be here with us. And you guys are my lookouts. If anything's going on, if you see anything happening, make sure you holler at me on Twitter. Hit me on Twitter and send me what you're seeing. If you see any Trevor Bauer news, you guys are my lookouts. Send me any information that you're seeing on Trevor Bauer from legitimate sources. Of course, that is, I feel like I have to say that. And again, hit the like. Everybody, here's what we're going to do real quick. Everybody that's in here hanging out, hit the like if you like baseball. All right. We're at 80 likes right now. Let's get to 100. We have 146 people in here. We need 20, just 20 of you who haven't done it yet to hit that like. Hit the like if you like baseball. Simple stuff there. So again, we're just talking about it. Talking about this Trevor Bauer situation and where it might wind up. Again, I don't know what the holdup is. I don't know why this deal hasn't happened, why we don't have Trevor Bauer on a contract. You know, when we have him, when we have a deal done, you can bet that we are going to have a YouTube live video extravaganza from Trevor Bauer, right? Like that's going to happen. We're going to have the Decision 2.0 Trevor Bauer style on his YouTube channel. I think that's a given at this point. That's how he's going to announce that. So we'll just see. Ryan, can the Jays get a real pitcher? I mean, Ryan, who do you want? Who do you want? You want Odorizzi? Do you want Walker? Do you want Paxton? Comment back and let me know who you want. Mets fans, any Mets fans that are in here, what's your backup option? If Trevor Bauer doesn't happen, what's the backup option? What do you want if this all falls apart? Again, I don't think it will. Ultimately, I think he goes to the Mets. I just don't think he likes the fact that it's just one team, probably not the dollar amount he wanted. You know, I think there's some factors at play. But Mets fans, what's your backup option? If you don't get Trevor Bauer, is Jake Odorizzi enough? If the Mets don't get Trevor Bauer, are they completely out in general? Are they not going to make a move for pitching? Gernster wants Odorizzi. The Mets don't need Bauer, Jersey girl. Do they need him? No. And maybe that's another part of the issue here is that the Mets really don't need him. Bauer, you could say, needs the Mets more than the Mets need Bauer, right? I mean, the Mets sort of addressed their pitching situation with Carlos Carrasco coming over in that Lindor trade. So I'm not sure what else the Mets need there, right? And look, we have just gotten to 100 likes just like that. Thank you, guys. We jumped 20 likes in about a minute. Thank you for hitting that like. Appreciate that. That's a big help. Thank you all. Papa with the countdown. Yes, we are there. Made it to 100. Thank you, guys. Thank you for doing that. We've had a big night, lot to talk about tonight. A lot to talk about. We do this once a week, so it all kind of builds up. Maybe I need to start doing it more than once a week. We'll see. I don't know. It's it can be a lot sometimes with everything during the day that we're dealing with. But anyway, you guys, thank you again. We got to 100 likes. Thank you, everybody. And again, anybody that might be checking it out for the first time, if you enjoy the conversation, make sure you subscribe and stay close to the channel, because when Bauer signs, whenever that is, we're going to have a live Bauer extravaganza, an hour of Bauer. I just did that. I kind of want to go vomit in the corner. Sorry, but we will have an hour of Bauer whenever he signs with the Jays. Papa, have a good nap, my friend. What are we talking about, Aiden? We're talking about Bauer. We're talking about what's taking so long. Why is it taking so long? Why is there no deal done? Sort of speculating on that. Do I think Tampa? Yes, Jake. I do think that Archer bounces back in Tampa. I think that is it's a given, in my opinion. I think he goes back there. He has good memories of being there. I think he got messed up in Pittsburgh. I think he bounces back, and he will have a nice season. He will have a nice season. Let's see. Want to remind everybody that we're doing the MLB The Show 21 game giveaway. You got to find me over on Twitter at Jim Riley Live, and you can get in on that. If you can find my tweet. It's one of my more recent tweets. You'll see it. And you can get in on a MLB The Show 21 giveaway. We talked about that about a half hour ago now. So just a reminder to anybody that is hopping in. If you play the show, we're doing a giveaway. Those are the details. Feel free to, again, go find me at Jim Riley Live and do all of the necessary steps. Just follow me, like, and retweet with your friend, because you and your friend will get a copy of the game. So that's that. Just want to get that back out there for anybody that wants to do that. Robert thinks Archer is washed. He was washed if he stayed in Pittsburgh, that's for sure. I think he can find himself again. He didn't play in his age 31 season. This will be his age 32 season. I think there's still some good innings left in Chris Archer's arm. I kind of wish Toronto could have snagged him, but that didn't happen. Brian, if only I had a PS5 or 4, right? Got to get you a PS4, man. Can finally play on Xbox. Right. This has been exclusive, and it is moving to Xbox. I have the PS3. Might be time to upgrade, Brian. If you're into it, listen, if you have the time to play it, it's good. If you don't have the time to play it, it'd be a waste of money, obviously. Hayden, do you think the Yanks can finish first in the American League East? Yeah, I think it's going to be between the Jays, the Yankees, and the Rays. I think those three teams are going to just have it out all year. And Boston will fit into that, but Boston right now might be a step behind. Boston's pitching is okay, but I don't think it's elite. Toronto's in the same situation. Toronto's pitching is okay. It's not elite. Toronto needs to do some things. So I say Toronto with the expectation that they're going to make some moves because of everything they've done so far with Simeon and Springer. It would be a waste of that $18 million for Simeon. It would be a waste of that money that they're spending on Yates if they leave the rotation as it is, because they're not going to have a chance to win that American League East if they leave it where it is right now. Let's see. Mike, Mets will sign him. It's not even close. Are you talking Bauer? I like we were talking about it earlier. I'm sorry, Jay. I see you, Jay Dizzle. Yeah, I mean, it's probably the Mets, but why is it taking so long? Why has it not happened yet? I feel like that should have happened. I feel like he should have signed. I feel like he should be a Met already. He should have gone on to his YouTube channel and done a big live decision 2.0. I'm going to the Mets. I feel like we should have already seen that from Trevor Bauer, and we haven't. I'm just, I'm concerned for you Mets fans that it is taking so long. So we're hanging out. We're talking about Bauer. We're talking Blue Jays. We're talking Bauer. You can see the lineup. We were talking Archer earlier, and we're talking a little bit of Archer now. So we got I mean, it's been busy this last week. It's been busy. Oh, and could you see Rowdy Tellez on his way out in a package for someone like Sonny Gray? Sure. I don't know how much trade value Tellez has, so there's going to have to be more to that package, in my opinion. Any Mets fans that are coming in and hanging out, let me know what you're feeling about this Bauer situation. I feel like it's just taking too long for you guys. I still think you're the front runners, but I feel like it is taking just too long. Just too long. Let's see. Yeah, so I think Tellez could be in the mix for a trade because the way the lineup currently is set, I don't know where he plays. He can DH when one of the outfielders isn't DHing. He can play first if they give Biggio or Vladdy a day off. I don't know where Tellez fits in. And I don't think he'll do well if he doesn't know if he's getting regular at-bats. It's a big component. He's getting regular at-bats. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't. We're actually really close to the 5,400 mark, a nice round number. We're about 8 subscribers away from 5,400. So if you are hanging out and you haven't subscribed, but you like the baseball talk that we're doing, take a moment and hit that subscribe button. Come and join Ballcap Nation. Join this community that we're building. At this point, we are in extra innings. We are in the extra innings part of the chat. So we're going off of a lot of what you guys are saying. The chat is going to kind of run the conversation. We're talking about Bauer, or we're keeping an eye on that. We can go back and talk about any of the free agents from the free agent update. We've got an owners and players situation. Feel free to chime in on that. We're talking about a lot of baseball talk going on right now. So again, if you like baseball talk, which I would think that's kind of a given, that's why you're here, take a chance and subscribe to the channel. We've got a lot going on for opening day. One thing we are going to be doing in the next day or two, I will be back live to do, if you saw the Blue Jays season simulation for 2021, we did that. We did a Mets fans, if you're here, we did a Mets 2021 season simulation with Bauer. So we added Trevor Bauer to the Mets roster, and we did a season simulation. Mets made it to the playoffs and had one heck of a playoff matchup against the Padres. You might want to check that out. So we're doing everything here. And the next season simulation we're actually going to do a career simulation. And what we're going to do, so this is a little announcement time for everybody, is a what if Griffey never left. That is the next sim that we're going to do with Baseball Mogul. I'm planning on coming back and doing it live probably tomorrow. Maybe Thursday, just kind of depends on how things shake out. You'll know because I'll put the link up a few hours in advance that we're going to go and do this. We're going to do a what if Griffey never left Seattle live stream career simulation of Ken Griffey Jr. once, to see, could he have won a title with Seattle? How would his numbers have fared? So we're going to dive into a Griffey stream, and I hope you guys will take a look at that. Robert, thank you for that. Mets Nation, definitely give Mets Nation a shout out. That's the other thing, guys. If you're creating content on here, comment in the chat. We'd love to give you a shout out. Maybe you pick up a few new eyeballs, a few new subscribers just from me giving you a shout out. Would love to do that. Ben, yes, there was a Liriano deal. A word on that is it's a minor league invitation. I think he makes about $1.5 million if he actually signs. What's left in the tank for Francisco Liriano is anybody's guess. But he's worth a shot. He's worth a shot for sure. So, we'll see. Griffey was a machine. He was a machine. And I wish he could have stayed in Seattle. So we'll kind of see. Chris asking, how many Jays game do I watch a year? I watch most of them. I get that MLB TV package, whatever it is. And I'll put it on. I'll watch most games, if not all of them. So we watch most of them. No problem, Ben. No problem. I don't think I've seen you in here before, so welcome to the stream. I've seen a mix of new and old. I shouldn't say old, regular faces in here. So thank you to you guys who have supported these streams in the past, and thank you to anybody that's new checking us out for the first time. Again, we are inching closer to the 5,400 number. Be a nice round number to get to by the end of the stream. So again, if you're hanging out and you're thinking about subscribing, this is the perfect time to do it. Do you think the Jays could trade for Merrill Kelly? There's a lot. I mean, the Jays, honestly, they're in position with the lineup being what it is. They're in position with the prospect, with the system the way it is, where they could trade for almost any pitcher that's out there or is available. Hayden does TikTok. Hayden is doing TikTok. Hayden has been a follower of the channel for a while. He's doing TikTok. If you check out TikTok, maybe check out Hayden when you have a chance. Orioles, welcome in, my friend. Yes. The top 100, are you talking about, Matt? Thank you for hopping in. I'm glad that you are here and checking it out. Are you talking about, I'm trying to think, are you talking about MLB.com's top 100, or are you talking about like Baseball America's top 100? I was really disappointed in MLB.com's top 100. I feel like they had a huge swing and a miss on that. Randy Arozarena was the 36th. He still has enough time to be considered a prospect, and MLB.com ranked him 36th. 36th? For Randy Arozarena? No. MLB.com. All right. I mean, I'm taking that whole thing and basically throwing it out the window because Randy Arozarena is 36. Bobby Dahlbeck was like 90. Did you see what Bobby Dahlbeck did when he showed up in Boston last year? Can't do it. That's just can't do it. It's a crime where they rank some of those guys. So, anyway, that was not the best. Let's see here. Orioles have made their announcement that they have acquired, is it Jamie or Jami Jones from the Angels for Alex Cobb? Good trade for the Orioles. Not so great for the Angels. You know, we talked about that yesterday. I'll reiterate it now. The Angels are basically putting together a quantity over quality situation, and I think that is a big mistake. You know, that's the trade. Cobb for Jones. Don't love it. If you're an Oriole fan, you love it. But I just don't think that was the right move for them to make. The rotation is just a bunch of threes at this point. They don't have an ace. They don't have the team that you need, the rotation that you need to go out and get it done. Go out and win the West. They don't have it. So really disappointing. The fact that the Angels made that move. There are still free agents out there that they could go and get for less, would give them more innings. Alex Cobb has only gone over 10 starts, 2 out of the last 5 seasons. So they're getting Alex Cobb for 10 starts in 2021. It's just disappointing. Patrick Corbin, hey, that'd be great, but I don't think Corbin's available. Our ace is Bundy. I know. You know, they turned it around with Bundy last year, right? I mean, Bundy pitched the best he's pitched in years that first year with the Angels. So they got that together. They started using his arsenal in a different way, and that was great. Now, I don't know if the same thing happens with Cobb, but they needed an ace. Let's go. Mets fan 1982. Mets are being very smart. As Mets fans, we want them to pay everyone. They're being smart. That's why they make decisions. We come up with yes, basically. But the fact that this hasn't happened again. My take on this earlier, as far as Bauer goes, is that the Mets have an offer, and if they up that offer, they're negotiating against themselves at that point, which would be a mistake. The Angels are out of it. The Blue Jays are out of it. The Dodgers are only looking to do 1 or 2 years. Bauer's not going to sign for 1 or 2 years because he's not going to go win a Cy Young in a full season in 2021. It's just, I don't see that happening. You know, we looked at his game log from 2020, and he pitched 11 games and only faced 3 teams that had a winning record. The White Sox were the best team he faced. The Cubs were the next best, and the Cubs had issues last year. So the Mets are being smart. I agree with you 100%. Mets are definitely being smart. Let's see. I think the fact that it's so quiet means something is happening. Robbie, welcome in, my friend. Thank you for hopping in. I hope you had a great stream. If you guys don't know, Robbie Hyde is the stream king here these days. Pretty much every night you can catch Robbie. He's doing a great job. It could. I go both ways, right? It's either done and we're going to find out tomorrow, or something's holding it up. Something could be holding it up. And that is just my worry. I feel like it is just the Mets now. So why can't this just get done? I still think last week that tweet by Nightingale was a leak, and he put it out there. His colleagues backed it up almost right away. Why would Nightingale put that out there? Where did he get that information? I think he got that information from somebody inside Bauer's camp, and that was Bauer's attempt to try to get the Mets, try to get other teams involved so that they could get the Mets offer up. That's my guess. Safe 615, is there a prize for the fantasy baseball league? Maybe. I'm thinking about that. Philip, what's up? Welcome in. Let's see. I don't think the Jays are. I don't think so either. We are hanging out at this point. We are in extra innings in the chat, in the stream. So we are kind of rolling with you guys. You guys are running the conversation. We're talking a little bit about Bauer. We're talking a little bit about Archer and some of the free agents. So we are having our Tuesday nightcap. Welcome in, everybody. Again, if you're just checking it out for the first time, make sure you subscribe to the channel and join Ballcap Nation. Come on in and join our community that we are building here. Some good things coming up. One thing I did want to mention to the Blue Jay fans that are hanging out here, we are going to be doing a little bit of a combo. I've been talking to the guys at Blue Jays Today. I don't know if you follow them on YouTube and Twitter or not, but the guys at Blue Jay Today and myself, that what's next for the Blue Jays, going to dive into that a little bit deeper with those guys in the next week or so. So keep an eye out for me on their channel. Again, Blue Jays Today, sometime in the next week. That'll be up there. We're going to dive into a deeper conversation about what's next for the Blue Jays. So keep an eye out for that. And if you guys, check out Blue Jays Today, great. If this is the first time you've ever heard of them, maybe take a look at their channel once we're all done here. Of course, yes. Kyle knows all about them. Yep, they are pretty good. Austin, thank you for that, my friend. I appreciate that. Tell your friends, tell everybody about it as we try to grow this channel and turn it into something good. Per Mark Zuckerman, the Nats and Blue Jays have inquired. That is from Zuckerman. Again, let me check this out. Did somebody send that to me on Twitter? With that kind of stuff, I do like to see that. Tweet it at me if you see some information like that. You guys can be my lookouts, but I need you to tweet it at me at Jim Riley Live so I can see what you're talking about. So if you can find that Zuckerman thing, if you can tweet that at me, again, at Jim Riley Live. I'll put the scroll on the bottom of the screen so you'll see my Twitter handle will be hanging out at the bottom of the screen there on that scroll. Because that would be interesting. I sure think that would be an interesting move for the Blue Jays if that's real, if that could happen. So we'll keep an eye. Kyle is saying that is not real. It is fake news. That's why we got to have the tweets. That's why we have to have it tweeted at me, at Jim Riley Live. It's a real simple process that we have. Tweet it at me. So, but that is, the Blue Jays do need to do something. There's no doubt about that. The Blue Jays need something. Blue Jays and Mets, I feel like, the Padres took things over for about a week and a half. But for the longevity of this offseason, this hot stove, it's been the Blue Jays and the Mets have just kind of been, all about it, all on it. It's been them week in and week out. Yes, Kyle is all over. Kyle is sifting through the Twitter verse for all of the Jays information. He is usually on it. Good thing we've got Kyle here. Right now is the Phillies' time. Well, I mean, the Phillies got that Real Muto deal. They've made some small moves, but just the Blue Jays have been in on everybody. The Mets have been in on everybody. The Phillies were really in on Real Muto and a couple of smaller names. So, KD, that's just my point, is that the Mets and Blue Jays have been in on everybody. It has been a constant news cycle with that. Yes, I know they got Didi. Definitely. They're bringing their guys back, which they need to do. They need to do that for sure. The Phillies have had a good 2 weeks, week and a half, 2 weeks, right? So the Phillies are doing a good job. Let's see. All right. So football news. Browns for J.J. Watt. That would be interesting. I really thought he would stay in Houston with all of his community ties there. That whole situation in Houston is a mess. That's for sure. Who do you think the Jays will land in a trade? I want them to go out and grab a pitcher. I want them to go pick up the phone, call the Cubs, get Kyle Hendricks, get Sonny Gray, do something like that. I feel like the Trevor Bauer situation is holding things up, even trades like that, because Jake Odorizzi's market could be dependent upon what happens with Trevor Bauer. Trevor Bauer signs for a record deal. Odorizzi can make his numbers, adjust his numbers for the dollar amount to reflect something that is on the same scale in terms of, Bauer is being paid this much per win or however he wants to do it. But Odorizzi could try to set his market at that, what Bauer gets, right? He's not going to get what Bauer gets. I hope you see what I'm saying. So I think that there's a whole situation where all of these pitching moves are probably just hung up. Yes, we are still on. We are about an hour and a half in. Usually we go till about midnight. It's safe. It's a safe bet that we get to an hour and a half. That's usually a layup with the ball cap, nightcap. Listen, at the end of the day, if you're on the East Coast, and maybe this is a bad way to look at it, but I want to put you guys to sleep. Okay? You can hang out with me and you can just let me, you watch me and then you go to bed. Maybe that's not a great way to look at it. Maybe I'm not giving myself enough credit saying that I want to put you guys to sleep. But it is. I mean, this is the nightcap. This is the late stream. You sort of get Robbie. Robbie and I are kind of got you on Tuesdays. Robbie's got the early evening, that's 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, and then I pick you up at 10 o'clock. Hey, Papa woke up. Welcome back from the nap. He is back. And this is going to get confusing now because we have two Papas. I'm going to have to say the full name. Papa Iguodala and Papa Tatum. Let's hope we don't get a third. Who did the Jays get? Tyler, the Jays got Francisco Liriano. They signed him to essentially a minor league invite. That's all they did. If he makes the team, I think they get about $1.5 million. Kyle tweeted that at me back when the deal broke. So that is what we got. Yes, I am. This is my friend. The two Papas know each other. This is fantastic. If that's the case, this is great. Awesome. That's fantastic. All right. This is being taken over by the Papas. That's cool. But yeah, the deal that Blue Jays did, they got Francisco Liriano. He's no good at this point in his career, right? But he's a non-roster invitee to spring training. If he pitches well in spring training, they'll give him $1.5 million. And if he pitches well, then great. If not, he's just another arm. I'm cool with it. Angels picking up only $5 million of Cobb's salary. I mean, that's a great. If you're the Angels, that's. You don't want to have to pay a lot because he may only start 10 games for you. Orioles are sending $10 million to the Angels. Man, what do the Orioles got to do to get Chris Davis out of town? What's that? Probably got to pay that whole salary. That poor Chris Davis situation is just a mess. The Jays drafted Aaron Nola back when AA was in charge. Didn't sign. Man, there's a lot of. I mean, I think every team has that where they draft a guy and then they can't sign him. That happened. I mean, everybody's got stories about that. It is just, it's all over everybody's got those stories. It's just crazy. Anybody hanging out in here again, hit the like if you haven't yet, if you're new within the last 20 minutes, make sure you hit that like. If you like baseball, we're hitting the like tonight. Go take a poke at that like. And subscribe if you haven't already. Please do subscribe. We're trying to get to that 5,400 number. I think we're one subscriber away. You could be, if you're hanging out, watching the stream, you're not subscribing yet, you could be the 40, I'm taking 1,000 off my number. You could be the 5,400th subscriber to the channel. Dodgers and White Sox World Series, Brian, I like that. I think that could happen. I think that's a very realistic possibility. That is for sure. I think that could happen. Should the Jays trade for Nola? I think that's unrealistic. I don't think that'll happen. Phillies are going to try to compete, and they need Nola at the top there. Papa, thank you for the sub. You might be it, my man. You are probably 5,400. This dashboard that I have updates terribly slowly. So I think you're probably it. But, yeah, I don't think the Jays are going to trade for Aaron Nola. They're going to be competing. Nola's the ace of that rotation. Just don't see it happening. Marcell Ozuna thoughts? Love Marcell Ozuna. I think that he's probably having a tough time right now with this National League DH situation and him not really having as many teams that can bid for him because of that. You look at the National League teams, a lot of these rosters are kind of coming into focus now, and there's not going to be as many teams. So I would love to see Ozuna sign somewhere. You know, I got to think Atlanta could still be in play. I would have loved Toronto to have been in on that, but that's not going to happen. But yeah, the whole situation is interesting. Bauer playing hard to get. What's the going rate? Exactly. He is definitely playing hard to get. That is for sure. I think that we should have a deal here soon. We had Tyler from Morty NYM on earlier predicting in the next 48 hours some news on Trevor Bauer. So we're going to watch that. Would love to talk about Trevor Bauer on the Mets and not hypotheticals. Really want that to happen. What are the Jays waiting for the trade deadline to have a starter? Well, they could, but I still think this Trevor Bauer is probably holding up some of those deals. You got to get Trevor Bauer off the market. And then once Bauer's off the market, you can see some of those other top names that are waiting, like Jake Odorizzi, maybe even Taijuan Walker. They want to wait and see what Bauer gets, and then they'll go sign their deals. And then if a team doesn't get Jake Odorizzi or Taijuan Walker or James Paxton, then they go and they make the trades. I think all of this is bottlenecking around the Trevor Bauer deal. I think the Trevor Bauer deal needs to happen. Gritchick for John Gray. I wouldn't do that, Jake, only because and Robert, you're right, I don't know if I'm down with John Gray. I don't know. Maybe he gets out of Colorado and things are better, but I don't know. I wouldn't do it. I would not do that. Let's see here. Papa with Bauer to man, you never know if he can get more money there, maybe. Bauer isn't playing hard to get; he's playing hard to want. Interesting take there. Do you think it's reasonable to overpay for Trevor Bauer? I do not. He's coming off a Cy Young season. He has not pitched well for the majority of his season. He's got an ERA over 4, and you look at his opponents from last year; it's not that impressive. So the Mets have an offer. We know the Mets have an offer, but for them to go up anymore would be just them negotiating against themselves. And that would be silly. That would be foolish. They'll wait him out. The Mets will wait him out. Let's see here. Let's see. Yes, I'd love to get some trades. Would love to get some of those trades for pitchers done, but this Bauer situation is really, seriously, in my opinion, going to hold things up. Do the Mets, that's the other thing we were talking about, is do the Mets need Trevor Bauer, right? Or does Trevor Bauer need the Mets? We saw Bauer. Bauer was amazing last year, but he's facing the Tigers. He's facing the Pirates. It wasn't that impressive. He was impressive when he was out there, right? Beat the teams you're supposed to beat, pitch well against the teams you're supposed to pitch well against. That's great. You want that. If he went out last year and struggled, then there would be some concern. But I worry. That's why I don't think you get into a situation where you overpay for him, where you get aggressive, where you start negotiating against yourself. I think that Trevor Bauer is the Mets. I think the Mets are probably waiting Trevor Bauer out. If there was a Cruz situation, tweet it at me. I need to see who, where, all that. At Jim Riley Live. My Twitter handle is down there. All right, I see it. Jeff Passan. Nelson Cruz and the Twins are in agreement on a 1-year contract. We're going to wait and see what the financials are for that. Sergio, thank you for sending that to me. Kyle, thank you for sending that to me. Hayden sending Braves and Turner are talking about a deal. I did see that. The Braves did check in. So we do have a Nelson Cruz to the Twins. 1 year. He's 40 years old. We're going to have to watch to see how much money Nelson Cruz is going to get. But we were talking about Cruz earlier. Let's talk about Cruz again for a minute, because we do have a Cruz signing. Here it was. He made, I want to say it's $12 million and then $14 million in previous seasons with the Twins. Spot Track had him at a $24 million value for the 2021 season. That is just crazy. But there was also some talk that Arzuna was on the Twins' radar. But ultimately we see it. We got it. Nelson Cruz is going back to the Twins for a 1-year deal. They had to do that, right? That was what we talked about with Nelson Cruz earlier, is they had to go get that deal. The Twins did. They parted ways with Eddie Rosario. They haven't really replaced him. Andrelton Simmons is a nice glove, but he doesn't give you anything. Doesn't give you enough with the bat. So this Cruz deal is important because the White Sox have made all the moves to put themselves in position to take the Central. And we have Kyle with the tweet at Jim Riley Live. Cruz gets 1 year. This is from the MLB News Network. 1 year, $13 million for Nelson Cruz. 1 year, $13 million for Cruz to go back to Minnesota. They had to do this deal again. They are trying to compete with the White Sox. They're trying to actually keep pace with the White Sox right now. White Sox are in position. And they got to stay ahead of the Indians. I know the Indians just got rid of Lindor. They get rid of Carrasco. But they still have Shane Bieber and other good pieces in that rotation. And they bring in Rosario. So the Indians are going to be tough. They're not going to just lay down. So the Indians are going to be tough. Twins had to do something to do this. I think the next step for the Twins just has to be pitching. They are good now with the bats, in my opinion. Now that they bring Nelson Cruz back. Nelson Cruz, last year, man, 16 homers in 53 games, 33 RBI. Could you imagine if he had played the full season out? Nelson Cruz was just a beast last year. 16 homers, 33 RBI, a 303, 397, and 595 slash line at 39 years old. He will be 40 years old. It's a good deal. It is a good deal. Hayden, I do have Twitch. I didn't send the link out today. I should have done that. I forgot to do that. I'm on Twitch. It is Ballcap Sports TV on Twitch. Ballcap Sports TV for anybody who uses Twitch, but I'm not on there now. Again, that's just an oversight. I forgot. I just set that up to broadcast out to Twitch, and I forgot to do it. Go me. That's the kind of top-notch broadcasting that you can expect if you're new to the channel from Jim here. Yes, pending a physical, of course, which that's important for a 40-year-old. That physical is going to be important. Anybody just coming in and checking out the stream, if you're into this Nelson Cruz signing, if you're a Twins fan looking for somebody talking about that, we are talking about Nelson Cruz right now. If you're excited about the Cruz deal, hit that like and comment in the chat. What do you think? Does this give the Twins the opportunity to make a serious run at the White Sox to win that American League Central? That's I think the question. 13 mil, right? 40 years old. That's a pretty good deal. That is a pretty good deal for Nelson Cruz. I like that deal for them. Again, they stay competitive. The Twins were going to be, in my opinion, the number 2 team in the Central. What they needed to do was make a move to try to compete to win the Central, and this does that. The next piece is the pitching. Again, the next piece, they have to go out and get a pitcher. If they don't get that pitcher, they are going to be in. They're going to be in some trouble. They're going to be in a tough spot. Let's see here. Just checking again. Say something at Jim Riley Live is the Twitter handle. That's where we got the information about Nelson Cruz. It's where we got the information on the deal. Again, 1 year, $13 million. Again, Kyle, thank you for that. Let's see. So we've got Nelson Cruz to the Twins. Good deal for them. A DH that's off the market. We talked earlier about Edwin and where Edwin Encarnacion could sign. And we talked about how the Twins were a possible landing spot for Encarnacion. And that's not the case anymore. Edwin Encarnacion's market just shrunk by one team. So that's the situation he is in. And he wants to play every day because he wants to have a shot at 500 homers. Cruz, what milestone is he looking at? Nelson Cruz milestone watch. Cruz is at 417 home runs. He's put up an amazing second half of his career. He didn't get going until 28 years old. 2009 with Texas was when Nelson Cruz arrived. He got his first All-Star appearance. He had 33 homers. And since then, he has been pretty good, really good. 40 homers, 1, 2, 3, 4 times. And last year, he was on track for 40, had the 39 homer season in 17, 417 homers. He's 3 seasons away from 500, and he's only at 1,700 hits. Just thinking about, the milestone tracker for Nelson Cruz. He has 1,100 RBI. It's too bad he couldn't get going earlier because he's certainly been one of the best hitters in baseball over the last decade, but it just started too late. Sorry, I'm looking over here because I've got my second screen up with all of his stats. So anyway, that's what we're watching. We're talking about Nelson Cruz and that deal as he has signed with the Twins. And also, just a quick update, everybody. We have passed the 5,400 number, so thank you for that. We passed 5,000 subscribers a week and a half ago, I think it was. We're at 5,405 now, so we're growing at a great clip. Thank you guys for everybody that's a subscriber. I thank you. I do thank you from the bottom of my heart. No, it really means a lot to me. So thank you for subscribing and just being here for our Tuesday nightcaps. We're still building this thing. We've been doing it I think we've actually been doing it for 8 weeks now. We've been doing it for just 8 weeks, and this is going to be a regular thing. So I do look forward to this growing with you guys. A lot of new faces in here tonight and a lot of familiar faces. So thank you, everybody that is here. And again, if you're just finding us, hit that subscribe and comment in the chat that you are subscribing tonight. I'd like to thank you, quite frankly. I don't get a pop-up, but if you do comment in the chat that you are subscribing tonight, I'll give you a shout out, and I will thank you. Papa, I know that you, Papa Tatum, got to get that right. We have 2 Papas now, Papa Tatum. You are a new subscriber, so thank you. Gernster, thank you for that. Yes, we're putting a lot into this. We've got We've got that giveaway on Twitter at Jim Riley Live for the 2021 MLB The Show giveaway. We're doing the Fantasy Baseball League. We have one room filled. I'm thinking about opening up a second room potentially if there's enough interest for that. Might open up a second one. I've got some giveaways, some future giveaways lined up. I've got some guest spots coming up. Again, Blue Jays today. We're doing something with them next week. Trying to do some other irons in the fire. So I like to say there's some big things coming. So I hope that you guys are here for it. Let's see. Thank you, Tatis Acuna. I appreciate that. I'm trying. Let's see. We're gonna do a Papa League with just one big Papa League. All right. At what point do the Mets move on from Bauer, King Snow? I don't know. I don't know if they'll have to. I really do. I still think that the Mets can just wait him out. I think he needs the Mets more than the Mets need him. I truly do. And I think that's a terrible position to be in from a negotiating standpoint, but that's just where I think it is. Liam, thank you for being here. Thank you for being here. I appreciate that. Brian, I still put the Mets. I still put the Mets at the top. KD, Nelson Cruz got $13 million. 1 year, $13 million. I mean, that's sometimes Spot Track isn't always right? Or the Twins got an amazing deal. Spot Track had Nelson Cruz's value at $26 million, folks, and the Twins get him for 13. So that's awesome for the Twins. Love that for the Twins. That is going to keep that Central competitive because right now it's really between the White Sox and the Twins. And that's great. That's good stuff. That is going to be good stuff. The Twins did have the leverage, right? Yep. Brian, thank you for that. Again, I appreciate the kind words, everybody. It's great. It keeps me going. It keeps me doing this. I have fun doing it, and I hope you all are having fun consuming it. I really do. Jays fans, I got some cool things in the works for, when we get close to the season. A couple of guests that I'm talking to about bringing on, not YouTubers, actual media guys, broadcasters that we're going to bring in. I don't know if anybody saw it, but if you and who does this, but if you dissect my Twitter situation and see who follows me, I did strike up a conversation this past week with one of the Blue Jays' top prospects. Eric Peradino, I believe, is how it is pronounced. And we were just chatting, and he's coming back from injury. But we're talking about maybe there's a point where at some point he can come on and he can talk. Peradino is the number 12 prospect in the J system. So I'm reaching out to people who want to try to bring some more folks on. Some guys on that you might want to hear from. Next week's going to be a big week. Who in here is into baseball cards? We're going to talk baseball cards for a quick second. Peradino is Brazilian. Yep. If you are into baseball cards, we've got next week, this Tuesday next week is going to be the eve of sort of the 2021 launch of the baseball cards, the Topps World. 2021 Series 1 will launch on Wednesday next week. So we'll try to have some fun around Topps Series 1 next Tuesday. We're going to take a look at the set. We're going to take a look at the checklist, the rookie cards. The rookie cards are insane. Kyle has a jumbo box coming in. Nice. I haven't bought mine yet. I'm going to play the Topps.com roulette game where I'm going to basically get on that site and refresh it from 8:00 in the morning on and try to get the best I can get. Everybody that knows, it is cheaper if you can get on Topps.com. It can be considerably cheaper. I've done the pre-order before because I don't want to miss it, but there's going to be so much product on that website. So will be, yes, I know, Kyle. It worked out well this year. I got the Stadium Club Chrome. That was only up for about 5 minutes, and I was refreshing. I did get a hobby box of Stadium Club Chrome. I've been able to get lucky a few times this in 2020 with some releases. So I'm going to try to keep that luck going. And if I don't, listen, I mean, even if you got to go on and buy it in the secondary market, you're kind of paying close to what you would be paying for with some of the pre-orders. And I got a local hobby shop that I know is going to be getting some. So I'm going to find a way to get a considerable amount of the Series 1. And we're going to talk about that. And I'm going to try to also have maybe a baseball card collector or two to come on and talk about that. So we'll be talking a little bit about Topps Series 1 2021, and that'll kick everything off, because then I think what do we got? We got Gypsy Queen a month or two later, and then we'll have Inception. It's just going to be, we'll be off and running after next Wednesday. So we're going to dig into that and talk about, we'll do that next week. We're going to talk Blue Jays more next week. We're going to, again, I'm actually hoping to have the guys from Blue Jays Today come on next week for the nightcap. So we're going to keep an eye on that. We're going to try to work that out. There's always things that can happen, but we're going to try to get them to come in. When will we get the Major League Show? When will Major League The Show get released? I think it's April 20th, isn't it? I feel like it's April 20th across all the platforms. Somebody might be able to confirm that for me, but I'm pretty sure it is going to be April 20th. Diamond's a big fan. Right on. We're going to start. Whether the guys are on next Tuesday, whether they're able to finalize that, make that work or not, you're going to see them on this channel at some point, and you're going to see me on their channel as well. You know, we're going to do something. We're going to be working together and doing some things. The Blue Jays community, we gotta work together, right? We got to do some things together. So I'm looking forward to that. Looking forward to a lot of things. Philip got lucky with a case of Topps Chrome Black. I saw that. I really was hoping to get some of the Bowman 2020 draft first edition. I missed out on that. I did get Bowman draft. I did get a box of Bowman draft, and that was fun. But I just ended up going on and eBay, just cherry picked some first edition cards that I wanted. I did not see Simeon's press conference today, but I heard about it. I love the fact that he's excited to be here, that he was really impressed that the Blue Jays were, one of the first teams to reach out, and he really liked what he heard from them. So, Papa Iguodala, have a good one, buddy. So I really, I love the fact that he's excited to be here. This is the only thing, guys. This is the kind of disappointing thing, Jays fans that are hanging out. He's probably going to have a nice season with us, and then we're going to have to get into the courting phase at the end of the season because it's just a one-year deal. That's the only thing that's disappointing is, he could be gone after one season. If he plays well, I hope he hangs out. But, we'll have to see. Are Hader rumors to the Padres true? I wouldn't trust any rumors on Hader to the Padres. I think a lot of teams are kicking the tires on Josh Hader. I have a feeling Hader starts the season in Milwaukee. There's 2 more years of control with Josh Hader after this season, so they have a lot of leverage. I feel like Hader maybe gets traded in a year. Let's see. The shortstop class next season is crazy. Give me Corey Seager. I agree. I have a feeling the Dodgers are going to get that done. I think Trevor Story will be a good piece. I think he will make it to the free agent market. I have a feeling that the Dodgers get that Seager deal done. Just a gut feeling. Let's see here. If I had a direct line to Sanderson, I would suggest Whit Merrifield. I'm a big Whit Merrifield guy. Who here is a big Whit Merrifield guy? I know that's kind of out of left field, but Whit Merrifield is, because he's on the Royals, might be the most underrated player in baseball. Don't ask me for my top 5 underrated guys, but I think Whit Merrifield is one of the most underrated players in baseball. He's great, and he's stuck in Kansas City, but he's fantastic. If Whit Merrifield was in New York, everybody would be talking about him in the same light that they talk about DJ LeMahieu. Witt's awesome. Yeah, KD is on board. Pricey's on board. Gernster, yeah. Witt is just Witt's a great player. I wish we could get Witt into a winning situation. Recon, how do I feel about Judge heading into the 2021 season? I love Aaron Judge. If he can stay healthy, we're all in that boat, right? Like me coming on stream is if I'm healthy. But Aaron Judge has just had so much trouble with that lately. I hope he's healthy, and I hope we get a good full season. Dylan Austin Martin, third base, maybe in 2022. Maybe in 2022. It's going to be tricky. There's going to be a lot of shortstops in the marketplace next year. Chris Bryant could be available next year. Austin Martin will be knocking on the door soon. That's why it's important that we have a minor league season. Jordan Groshans has been delayed by a year because of that. It's important that we get a full season in the minors to see what Austin Martin's about, because I think in 2022 he starts knocking on that door. I hear David Price is available. Great. Yeah, he can go somewhere else. I don't want his $30 million contract. I think we remember fondly what he did for the Blue Jays when he was with the Jays before. He pitched great for the Red Sox in the World Series. I don't know. I worry about David Price. I'm not sold on David Price. I would stay away from that. I think there's other trades. If you were to ask me to rank players we could trade for, I'd have David Price behind too many guys. Right? Let's cross off. Let's cross off Kyle Hendricks. Let's cross off Sonny Gray. Let's cross off Luis Castillo. Those guys. If those guys are out of the question, then you can start talking me into David Price. It's just too much money. It's just too much money. Now that contract's going to be up. When is that contract up? Actually, I don't think it's up at the end of the year. I think there's too much time. I think there's too much time left on that Price contract. Let's see. Gersar, hope they can develop Martin in the outfield. They keep Groshans. I mean, Springer's the center fielder for a couple years. It's at the point then where you're trying to future track. What does Teoscar Hernandez's career look like? What does Grichuk do? They can make room there if Grichuk or Hernandez start the year with the Jays and it's just not working. If Hernandez goes back to kind of what we had seen in years before, where you're like, we can move on from this. Then you start looking at Martin in the outfield, I think, at that point. We'll kind of see, right, and then Springer moves to corner. We'll kind of see how Grichuk and Teoscar, perform in 2021. Grichuk to the Cubs for Hendricks. I would do it. I don't know if the Cubs would do that. We'd probably have to send a prospect because Hendricks does have a few more years on his deal. Midwest Sports, what's up, buddy? Welcome in. Prices are free. Yeah, so you got a couple more years of that $30 million. No way. Let's see. Johnny Cueto, a backup plan if the Mets don't land Bauer. I mean, he's still with the I believe Cueto's still with the Giants. I believe he is. So I don't know if the Giants would do that trade. I think the Giants want to hold on to him. That's what I think. What's new with Bauer? We were talking about Bauer. What's new and I guess it's not really what's new, it's what's old, is that this deal just isn't happening. Why is there no deal in place? What's the holdup? What's new is the fact that there seems to be a holdup. And I feel like that something needs to happen. I don't understand what is taking so long. I don't understand what's taking so long. I feel like this deal should have already happened. Everybody that is hanging out, we're at 150 strong. We are past midnight in the East. It is late, so thank you guys for staying up. If you're just hanging out, hit that like. We are 7 likes away from 150. So if you're here and you haven't hit the like yet, take a poke at that like and get us to 150. Let's get there. We are 6 away. We are close to 150. Let's try to get there here. If you're hanging out, watching the stream, and you haven't hit it yet, help me get to 150. That does some good things for the video, does good things for the channel. I appreciate that if you can help me get to 150. And we're there. We are at 151. Thank you guys for doing that acting and hopping on that. If you haven't subscribed yet, please think about subscribing. Come and join Ballcap Nation here on Ballcap Sports. I would love for you to be a part of this community that we're building. If you are just checking us out for the first time tonight, do you see the Jays might do something huge this week from Wet Noodles? I don't know if anything huge is left in the cards. I think they're going to be some good moves. If they get Rosenthal, would that be huge? If they get Paxton or Odorizzi, would that be huge? I guess what's your definition of huge at this point? Midwest Sports feels like Hendricks is untouchable, but you never know with the Cubs. I thought Darvish was untouchable. Right. I agree. I mean, Hendricks is going to be the one right now, right? He's at the top of that rotation. He's your ace at this point. Yeah, I mean, the Cubs might be holding on to him because they need somebody at the top of that rotation. Let's see. Big Air. I think so. We were talking about that a few minutes ago. I firmly believe how many years Bauer wants at least 4, right? But Big Air, I think that is what's going on. I think that I think the free agent pitchers are waiting for Bauer to sign because it can set the market for them. And the trades are also then waiting because let's say you're the Blue Jays and you want Jake Odorizzi. You want that deal to get done. But Odorizzi's waiting for Bauer. Say Bauer signs for a $35 million a year deal. That means Odorizzi, that's going to raise what he can ask for. And the Blue Jays may not want to go to that level. So then they pick up the phone and call the Reds. So there's a domino effect to Bauer signing. All these other teams, all these other players are probably in a holding pattern, which means the teams are in a holding pattern. And depending on what Bauer signs for, other teams could then make their moves, and that could force some trades and force some signings. So I think that could happen. Where do I expect Rosenthal to end up? I mean, there's teams that still have a need at closer, right? The Blue Jays don't necessarily need a closer. They picked that up with Yates. But there are teams that need closers. You could make a case, the Braves, they didn't replace Melanson. They've got other guys that could step in. A lot of these teams have guys that could step in, but their closer from last year is gone, right? The Padres, does Pagan or the other guy, the lefty, I'm forgetting his name, Drew something. You guys are gonna have to give me his last name. Pomeranz. Do they go with Pomeranz? I don't know, but the Brewers are in need of a closer. The A's could use a closer. Hendricks is gone. There's a lot of teams that could use a closer. So the Blue Jays are linked to him, but they don't need the closer. Other teams, the Braves need a closer. Padres need a closer. Marlins could use a closer. Giants could use a closer. He could go any of those teams. He could go to any of those teams. How many years? Yeah, Bauer wants, I think, at least 4. If the Mets pay $35 million for Bauer, I might be in Detroit. Yeah. If they do that, again, I don't think they will. I don't think they will because they don't need him. They don't need him. They addressed that pitching situation with Carrasco. They don't need him for that. Let's switch the branding back up and we'll put that Bauer piece back up. They just don't need him, so they can wait him out. They can wait him out. That would be interesting if the Jays did that for Syndergaard. Don't see that happening. No one's going to trade for Syndergaard right now. Nobody. Again, guys, if you see something, say something. Make sure you hit me up on Twitter. If you hit me up on Twitter at Jim Riley Live, if you're seeing something, send it to me. You guys are the lookout. Is Jake Arrieta a possible fit for the Jays? I wouldn't want that. I think there's too much baggage there. I think Arrieta fits in at that 4 spot right now, and the Blue Jays need a 2. The Blue Jays need a 2. Arrieta doesn't sort of fit what they need at this point, in my opinion. Angels could use a closer. Well, the Angels have Iglesias. The Angels are good at closer. Angels are good there. Trevor Bauer goes to Dodgers. Yeah, I don't think that'll happen because I don't think Bauer's going to do a 1 or 2 year deal, and that's what it would be with the Dodgers. That's what it would be, and I don't think he's going to do that. I think he's going to go for that multi-year deal. Everybody, this has been fun. It's 12-12 in the East. I hope you guys are having a good time too. Just want to give a quick promotion to what I'm doing next. This is what's next. I'm either going to go live tomorrow night or Thursday night to do a What If Griffey Never Left career sim. We're going to pick up in the year 2000. That was the year he started with the Reds. We're going to be using the Baseball Mogul machine, and we're going to be doing a What If Griffey Never Left career sim. We're going to put him back on the Mariners. We are going to go through the end of his career, and we're going to be doing a What If He'd Left. We are going to try to see how many homers he hits. Can he win a World Series? Can he bring a World Series title to Seattle? It is going to be a realistic simulation. So if you remember, A-Rod was on that 2000 team, and then he left at the end of 2000. We are going to let A-Rod go at the end of 2000. So we're going to try to follow it, but we're still going to try to win a World Series with Seattle, make some realistic moves. I hope you guys keep an eye out for that. Again, it'll either be tomorrow night or it'll be Thursday night. You'll know it's coming because I will put out hours in advance a reminder, a setup essentially for that live stream. So make sure you guys are hanging out and you check that out when we're able to put that up. So that is something that is coming up. I will be live for that either tomorrow or the next day. And the fun part about me being live for that is you guys will help me through that, right? If we're doing trades, if we're trying to make some moves, we're trying to do some things, I will go to you guys if you are in the chat to get that simulation through, to make some moves. So I'll be leaning on you guys to get that done. Speaking of Griffey, 89 PSA 10s are trading at 5K. It should be more than that, right? It should be more than that. That baseball card boom really, really hurt that. 5K is nice, but I feel like it should be more than that. I do have I've got an 89 Upper Deck Griffey sitting inside an 89 Upper Deck factory set, unopened, sealed. I haven't gone in to get it yet. I'm just letting it chill there for a little bit. It could be a PSA 10. It could have a ding. I don't know. But I do have one of those, again, chilling in an 89 Upper Deck factory set. Since I don't see the Dodgers, Jared, I still think he ends up with the Mets. I don't think he's going to get the money that he wants from the Mets, but I think he ends up with the Mets. MLB Joey, we did see that. Yes, the Twins signed Cruz 1 year, $13 million. That's a great move for them. They needed that. That was important for them. If you're hanging out here, make sure you hit the like. If you're just finding the channel for the first time, please subscribe and join our community. I am going to wind this thing down now. It is 12:15 in the East. If I don't wrap up here in the next few minutes, I'll be up till like 2 a.m. I'll be too wired and everything. So I have to wind down. So everybody that has been in here for the stream tonight, I appreciate you guys being here. You could have been doing anything else, but you're here hanging out in the stream. I always appreciate that. Thank you for being here. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Like on the way out. If you haven't liked yet, keep an eye out for that Ken Griffey Jr. Season or career sim that we'll be doing. I will be live for that again. So keep an eye out for that. A lot of stuff coming. Any Blue Jays moves, I'll be live. Anything big, when Bauer signs, I will be live. So make sure you guys stay close to the channel. If you haven't hit the alerts yet, do that. If you're interested in a membership, we were talking about that earlier. I'll just give one more shout out to that. Memberships are available on the channel. For $2 a month, you can get badges and emojis, custom emojis that you can use in the streams. And there's also a $5 option. That option gives you the emojis and the badges and exclusive videos only to members. So you got to find me on the main homepage. There is a join button. If you click that, a video will play that just kind of runs through everything that you would get. So thank you guys again for being here. Have a fantastic Tuesday night. Stay close. We will be back with more content tomorrow for sure. Have a great evening. We will wrap this up. Let's wrap this up with some, since he is in St. Louis now, let's wrap this up with some Arenado home runs, and I will see you guys next time. Have a great evening.
High fly ball, deep left field. Take a good look. You won't see it for long. High fly ball, deep left field. Make it 3 games in a row. Rockies within a run. And this ball crushed high and deep left field. Take a good look. You won't see it for long.